All right, hello again, everybody. Welcome back to Airbus 320 Tech Talk. What do all those buttons do? Thanks again for joining me. Next installment, we are continuing our discussion, moving down the overhead panel, or the upper overhead panel rather, on the Airbus 320. So the next thing we're going to take a look at is right below the area we talked about last time, this upper overhead circuit breaker panel area here. There's another little panel down here with a couple miscellaneous things we'll talk about first, and then this audio switching button right here, or knob rather. So anyways, just to break it down and explain a little bit about what each of these things is up here. First here on the left, we have a microphone actually. This is one of the cockpit voice recorder microphones right here. There's another one that kind of sits up kind of right above the windscreen area. I'll try to show you another picture in one of the later presentations that we'll do here, but this is another microphone that sits atop the overhead area here once again. And you know, there's a couple microphones in the cockpit for this CVR system, for the reason that, you know, there may be things going on behind, you know, where the pilots are sitting, or on the jump seat or whatever, that you know, you might want to you know, have that data for later on for some reason, for analysis, for just trying to figure out what was going on in the flight deck at the time. Maybe something happened. So you know, a lot of times too, you'll see this reference if you guys have ever read like aviation accident or investigation reports, and you kind of get the narratives, and a lot of times you'll see this kind of breakdown of, like, you know, it says cam 1, cam 2. So what that means is cockpit area mic number 1, cockpit area mic number 2, and it just kind of tells you where that, you know, voice or sound was detected. And in this case, you know, this is yeah, the second one here in the Airbus, up on the top upper overhead panel, like we said there. So right to the right of that is this little toilet light, and the only thing this is here for, you can see it illuminated right now. Once again, I did a lights test when we were sitting on the gate, but you would see that occupied light come on when, just as you had guessed, if somebody was in the forward laboratory anyways, and the lab was occupied. And the reason we would want to know about that is because with security being such a hot issue, obviously, for a long time now, just the way that we enter and exit the flight deck during the course of the flight to go out and use the bathroom ourselves, we always have to be sure that the area is clear and there's nobody in the toilet there. So this is just like one small way for us to kind of, you know, look and see if there's somebody in there, if the toilet's occupied, or the door is closed and locked, more specifically, is what triggers this thing to come on. So that's all that is there for. Immediately to the right of that is another light right here that you can kind of angle around a little bit. And there's unfortunately, I don't have a picture of the center pedestal right now, but this is a floodlight that would just kind of shine down and illuminate on top of the center pedestal, if for ever, you know, whatever reason you needed to see better maybe what's down there when the rest of the cockpit is dim, or maybe the backlighting or something, you know, failed on all the buttons down there. You need to see what was going on. That's what that's there for. And the last thing on this this area here that we're talking about is this audio switching knob right here. Now, what this is for is to allow either the captain or the first officer to, in the event of audio control panel failure, for them to be able to basically listen to the different radio, you know, radio inputs that you might want to hear. So I can show you in another slide here the audio control panel. What we're talking about is, close this out here and bring up another slide. There's 3 of them in the Airbus cockpit. So there's actually one on the upper overhead panel right here. This is the number 3 one that this little knob is referencing or talking about. And there's 2 on the center pedestal, once again, on the captain and the first officer's side, that, you know, normally they're obviously dedicated to the on-side pilot, and they just, you know, use these and manipulate these knobs here to, like I said, like listen to the various things that are coming in through the radio that you might want to hear. So we're going to talk about this panel later when we get down to the center pedestal. I'll kind of break down each and every one of these things on here at that point. But once again, all this knob here is for is that if you were to have a failure of the audio control panel on your center pedestal area, or in other words, the main one that you use, you can come up here and flip this switch and get access to your side of the comm system to be able to basically manipulate through this number 3 panel here, whatever you might want to hear. So, also too, I guess essentially you would select these buttons on the top here. They basically control like where you're transmitting, and like I said, once again, I'm going to break this down at a later time to explain that further to you, but that is what this knob up here is doing. So once again, thanks for joining me, and we'll talk to you guys again soon. All right, have a great night.